It's no secret that I love Palafin from Obsidian Flames. Its Justice Kick attack is just too cool to pass up, doing 210 damage for only 2 energy on a single prize Pokemon. I've covered Palafin a lot in the past, but today I'm here to show you my new and improved Palafin deck list. What is going on, everybody? Hitmonchan here back again with another Pokemon trading card game online deck tech. Today we're here on PTCG Live taking a look at my new Palafin deck. But before we get into the video, I want to thank the sponsor of the channel, PTCGL Store. If you need codes, you know where to go. Head on over to PTCGOstore.com and use code HITMON to get 5% off your order. You help yourself out, you get a good quality product for a good price, and you help the channel out, and it means a lot to me. So yeah, don't forget, code HITMON, 5% off, and thank you so much to the sponsor once again. And now we're gonna hop right into the video. Palafin is super cool. It's one of my favorite cards to release in a long time. It's got Jet Punch for 30, and you do 30 to the bench. Nothing crazy on the stage 1, 150 HP Pokemon, but Justice Kick will do 210 damage for only 2 water energy. The only condition being if this Pokemon didn't move from the bench to the active spot this turn, this attack does nothing. Now, it's very easy to get Palafin powered up, and it's very easy to maneuver in and out of the active spot. Right now, we're rocking with a 4-4 line of Palafin. We're using 3 of the Valiant Evolution Finizen. Valiant Evolution will read if this Pokemon, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, search your deck for a card that evolves from it and put it onto this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So pretty solid overall, because if you go second and you start this Finizen, you can get a Palafin up basically, you know, turn 1 technically, right? And that's good because, you know, against Lost Box, you're not going to be able to get Greninja or Sableye if you can't find your Manaphy for Greninja, for example. We're also playing one of the 90 HP Finizen, and I will tell you, this does actually matter quite a bit against Lost Box because you will have to bench this Finizen. You bench this Finizen as well, and they can't knock out 2. If you bench like 2 of the 50 HP Finizens, you can get both of them knocked out by Sableye, which is absolutely terrible. We're also playing one Radiant Greninja in here, so we can use concealed cards to draw, as well as Moonlight Shuriken to attack. And I'll talk about more on that in a second. We have a 1-1 line of Bidoof and Bibarel here to help us draw some cards, especially helps against cards like Iono. We're also playing a 1-1 line of Palkia VSTAR. Now, I want to make this very clear. This is not a multi-prize deck. The main goal of the deck is to attack with Palafin and also attack with Radiant Greninja. Star Portal is very good because it can power up Radiant Greninja and power up Palafin basically at the same time, because we are playing EXP shares and Raihans in this list. So you can power up a couple different Pokemon using Raihans and EXP shares to kind of manipulate your energy. That's basically what Palkia VSTAR is in here for. You don't want to bench Palkia VSTAR unless you have to, honestly, because putting a 2-prize liability in this deck makes the Justice Kick for 210 a lot less effective. So that's why we have the 1-1 Palkia in here, because I do find without that energy acceleration in the mid to late game, you can run out of steam very carefully or very easily if you don't like hyper maintain your resources. So that's what the Pokemon are looking like right now. Trainer wise, 4 Battle VIP, 2 Nest Ball, 4 Ultra Ball. That's my preferred Pokemon search lineup, along with 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball. Now, in terms of the rest of the cards, we're rocking 3 Escape Rope and 3 Switch. This is going to help us maneuver in and out of the active spot, because we also have Cyclizar with a free retreat in here, so we can switch into Cyclizar. Cyclizar can retreat back into our Palafin, and we can Justice Kick once again. We're also playing 4 Irida, as well as 3 Iono, 2 Raihan, and 2 Boss's Orders in here, just to help us consistently have a, you know, a very well-rounded supporter lineup. Irida is just so good. You can get Palafin plus Switch or Palafin plus Energy Search to find an energy and attach that to your Palafin, and there you go, you're off to the races. We also have 1 copy of Vitality Band in here, which makes your active Pokemon do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which is very strong. The reason I'm choosing Vitality Band over Choice Belt is because where this deck really shines is being able to knock out basic Pokemon V/EXs. Now, if I put Choice Belt, you can't knock out basic Pokemon basic Pokemon EX, because Choice Belt only affects Pokemon V. So that's why Vitality Band is in here. Only 1 copy, but I will tell you, it's won me games. It is so good. And this deck surprisingly has a lot of draw when you're consistently using Irida plus Bibarel plus Greninja. You can burn through a lot of the cards in your deck really quickly. We're also playing 2 EXP shares in here, as well as 1 Lost Vacuum to get rid of pesky stadiums, and 2 Super Rod in order to help us recover our Pokemon and energy. Speaking of energy, 9 water energy, and that's it. My original build had reversal energy in it, and reversal was really good. However, I think the versatility of having a Radiant Greninja being able to attack out of nowhere, thanks to Palkia VSTAR, basically requires you not to need reversal energy. And, you know, you don't need to have 2 of your energies or 3 of your energies be very situational in this deck, because this is a deck that I've built this iteration of the deck to be as consistent as possible, to hit as hard as possible, and to move as fast as possible. And I think that's kind of where Palafin really shines, is being able to attack your opponent and take big knockouts really quickly while they take one prize in return. So we're not going to talk about the deck anymore. We're going to get into some action and get into some games, get some dubs with Palafin. Our opponent is calling the coin flip here. Tails never fails. That's what I always say. They chose heads, they're going to flip, and it's going to be tails. So we absolutely want to go first here, because if they're playing Giratina, which they have a Giratina coin, so that's what leads me to believe it, we can try and knock out a Giratina turn 1, or turn 2 I should say, and that is very, very good. They're going to get to see what we are playing, which is fine. It shouldn't really impact their setup too much. I mean, they're going to want to start Comfy if they can. If they have anything else, they have to start it. So it's not like the end of the world here. But we do want to get a cheeky turn 1 KO. This is actually pretty solid because we're going first. I'm still going to put this. I'm going to put this. It doesn't really matter what Finizen. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't really matter what Finizen I put up because we are going first. I wanted to actually put that one up, but I just misclicked my mouse. But that's okay. They are going to start with the Comfy. So yeah, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to bench Palkia. In this matchup, you don't really need to, but given our hand, I want to have Palkia VSTAR access. So I do want to actually attach to the Palkia, and I'm going to pass here because what I want to do is we're going to see what happens here, but I want to be able to switch into this Palkia if they get a KO, take a KO. Hopefully they're not going to hit Giratina until their third turn of the game. If they hit Giratina turn 2, then Palkia is really going to hurt us. But if they hit Giratina turn 3, then we'll be okay, because then we can retreat Palkia into Finizen, Star Portal the energies on, and then evolve to Palafin and attack. So I think that's kind of what we're going to try and do. They've got one card in the Lost Zone. It is going to be boss, which is good. We don't want any of our Pokemon to be boss on the bench. And now same thing, we're going to see what we draw into. We have a dead hand. I think Palkia was the best call. They get VIP Pass, ditching a Path to the Peak and a Boss's Orders, which is good for us. Path to the Peak will hurt our Palkia, but more importantly, it hurts our Greninja. That's the worst part about it. So we're going to see what happens here. If they end up going into Giratina for whatever reason, we can try and go for a Palafin play, but it will be tough. They do have another Battle VIP, so they got a way better start than we did. They're probably going to get another Comfy and a Cramorant would be my guess. But we're just going to have to see. Just one Comfy, which means they probably have something in their hand that they want to be put on the bench. 3 Comfys, Greninja, Giratina. Makes sense. And get another card in the Lost Zone here. And I haven't seen a Colress just yet, but I do have a feeling we're going to. So I'm just kind of curious what they're doing. They're getting rid of Super Rod, which is good for us as well. Because Giratina is one of those decks that is heavy on resource management. But because of their board state, might just be passing here. They already used Jet Energy to send a Pokemon up and to retreat it. So I'm just very curious. I'm just really curious about what they're going to decide to do from this point on. Hopefully we'll be able to get a cheeky KO with Palkia VSTAR, and then if they don't get the Giratina, which I don't think they'll get the Giratina next turn, I think it'd be their third turn, we should be okay to start using Palafin's power to take some good knockouts here. So yeah, I'm just curious what they're going to play here. You're just going to pass. Okay, that's good for us. So this is kind of what I want to do. We have Irida off the top, which is also very strong. So we're going to Irida here. We're going to grab... We could grab Palafin or Radiant Greninja. We have Energy Search. Maybe I just grab Radiant Greninja here and an Energy Search. Another reason why Energy Search is so good, just so we can draw more cards. Yeah, we'll use an Energy Search. We are missing a chunk of energy, actually, but that's okay. I want to do this just to get ourselves a little bit ahead. Another Finizen is good. We'll attach to Palkia, put this Finizen down. We'll switch into this Palkia, and now we're in a decent spot. Just going to subspace well. 220 is pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. We got rid of a Comfy. We get to take a prize, and it's Palafin. Normally, we're not attacking with Palkia, but at least in this specific matchup, in this specific case, they are likely going to try and hit into us with a Cram this turn. And if they hit into us with the Cram, that's good because we can just retreat and go for the Palafin KO. Or if we find boss and they don't find Tina VSTAR, we just try and knock out Tina VSTAR. Another reason that I absolutely love playing Radiant Greninja plus Origin Form Palkia in Palafin is because you can hit a Pokemon V or evolving Pokemon V, so a V that will turn into a VSTAR or VMAX for 210. Then they're gonna escape rope us. We're just gonna go into this Finizen. Yeah, so you can hit into one of those Pokemon. For example, we could hit into Giratina for 210 damage. If we don't find Vitality Band, we don't knock it out. But next turn, we could use Palkia VSTAR's Star Portal to attach those energies to Radiant Greninja. Then we can knock out a smaller Pokemon and Giratina VSTAR, which will keep us on the same level of the prize trade, which is really, really important to know. Now, another thing important to note about what's happening here is they're down 3 energy, 2 of which are water, and they have 2 other waters in the Lost Zone. So, no Radiant Greninja is going to be attacking this turn. There isn't. Good for us. Very, very good for us. Here, they're going to probably try and go into the Cram. That is my guess. They're going to take out Finizen. That's fine. We could try and go for a Radiant Greninja play here. That might be really good for us. However, we're going to try and find an EXP share because we want to keep these energies in play after this Greninja gets knocked out. However, getting rid of the Cram, they're at... Oh, I can't even check how many they're at in the Lost Zone. That's terrible. They're at 7 in the Lost Zone. They might not even hit Sableye next turn. So it's important to know. We have an Ultra Ball. Now, how do we want to do this? Because I'm expecting a attack from this Giratina next turn, no matter what. So I do want to go for the Greninja play. I think that's most important, but we're going to be relying heavily on top deck next turn. So this is, I think, what I want to do. I do think I want to retreat into Greninja. And we're going to Star Portal here. Put 1, 2, and 3 on it. Can't get knocked out by Cram. We want to limit their Lost Zone capabilities as much as we can. So we do have Bibarel and Bidoof. We should have both our other Ultra Balls in here. So a lot of cards can get us Bibarel. That's what we're going to count on. I'm going to grab this Bidoof, and you can try and sack a turn with Palafin as well. So we're going to use Bidoof, and we're going to Moonlight Shuriken here, and try and just get ahead as possible. And in this case, they could Roxanne us. Roxanne's not going to do much, though, because we have 0 cards in our hand. I mean, we're going to draw Battle VIP Pass off the prizes, big whoop, but we are taking 2 prizes, putting ourselves ahead. They have Lost Zone to Boss. Water Energy is good, but if Greninja gets knocked out, it's not good. So this is my mentality, right? They go with Giratina VSTAR. Okay, so no Roxanne, that's fine. They go with Giratina VSTAR here. They can knock out our Radiant Greninja, sure, but they are Lost Zoning more energies. They have 3 energies in this card, 2 in the Lost Zone, plus a Super Rod in the Lost Zone here. So that could be very, very bad for them. They could also try and start Requiem our Greninja, but that would be a bit of a waste. You'd rather... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because you have to use one or the other. They're going to attach the Giratina. They might switch into it here and just go for Star Requiem, which is fine. But we have to see what they do. They're burning through a lot of their resources really, really quickly here. Haven't hit 10, so they can't start Requiem. They can't switch into Comfey because there's no Comfeys on the field because we just took them out, right? Big brain activities. So if they just hit into us with Cram, we're going to be in a very solid spot. I'm really hoping we can find Bibarel or Irida or anything here to just help us go more. There's a Nest Ball. They may end up getting their 4th Comfey and start switching. They have 9 in the Lost Zone, so they could get to 10 that way, or they could just try and do a Star Requiem, then a Sableye, then a Sableye again, or a Star Requiem, Lost Impact, and Sableye and Sableye. They're going to get a 3rd Giratina V, though, which does make me think their other Comfey is prized. They get Manaphy, which doesn't really matter for us. And they're just going to spit innocently, which is absolutely perfect for us. There's no Sableye coming down just yet. We are going to want to take out something here. We get Raihan, which is good for the next turn, but for now we're just going to conceal cards. We get Irida as well. Irida's really solid. So, how do I want to do this? I'm definitely playing Irida. And through Irida, could Escape Rope. I mean, I obviously want to grab Palafin. I could Escape Rope into something and try and Jet Punch it. Or no, I'm just going to grab Ultra Ball and use Bibarel here. Just to kind of make our board a little more established. We can take this one turn There's no Sableye coming down this next turn because they put 3 Giratinas in play, so I'm not concerned about this Greninja getting Sableye. I just want to be prepared for the next turn. So Industrious Incisors, we get Ropes. We don't have anything to pivot though, which is pretty rough. We do have a couple ropes we can use. We have Raihan next turn. We should be fine, so I just want to pass here. Because if they go for, they still need a lot to go for the KO on the Palkia to even up the prizes. Then in that case, we can try and hit that Giratina, depending on what they put up. They're going to pass the Picas, which shouldn't really matter right now. Here comes a Mirage Gate, so they're going to be able to get that Cramorant to retreat it and hit the Giratina to Lost Impact. They're just going to power up Mortinas. Okay, that's fine. The only issue with this deck is we don't have a way to take a big one-hit KO unless we were to use Palkia, but we don't play the Choice Belt, so we can't knock out a VSTAR like that. They're just going to spit innocently, taking out Greninja. That's a-okay with me. We don't want to hit into this Cram. Ideally, we want to hit into something else. So I'll lead Palafin because we have Escape Rope. It doesn't matter. We have Super Rod as well, which is good because Super Rod can get us back Greninja and 2 energy, which we're absolutely going to want here. So we'll go for the Super Rod. We will Raihan, putting an energy on Palafin. We'll grab another energy here. I want to guarantee the attack. I don't want to play any silly games. And then we're going to Escape Rope here. So we're going to draw 2 cards off Bibarel to help us set up for the next turn. Hopefully we find an EXP share. We're going to Manaphy, which is also fine, because then we can go into a Radiant Greninja play. Or do we Escape Rope? No, we can't even Escape Rope again. That's okay. We'll just Industrious Incisors for 2 cards. It's Irida and Vitality Band. Vitality Band is good to save. Or maybe we go into the other Palafin here. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe we don't even attack this Manaphy. Because let's think about it. If we go into the other Palafin, they can hit into it. We can try and find a switch off the Irida, take out Cram, then all we need to do is boss Tina V to win. I do believe, I don't know if they have any... Okay, this is what I want to do. I do want to Escape Rope again. I actually do want to Escape Rope again. I want to try and burn their resources as much as possible. Then we can Iono them to a low hand, or Irida, and get this other Palafin going. If they boss up this Palafin, that would suck, but it requires them to have a lot more. So they could be going into this Giratina. VSTAR here, we do have to see though what exactly they're going to do. They've also shut off their concealed cards with this Path to Peak. So, I mean, granted, they're not going to be spending more energies. They're just going into Cram, so we're going to go into that Palafin. We're just going to pass. Now, okay. This is going to be interesting for sure. This is going to be very, very interesting how the rest of this game is going to play out. Because they don't have a Sableye down right now, I'm completely fine letting them just attack into us. There's a switch, so there's the Tina VSTAR. They have Boss on Palkia. That would make things a lot more interesting here. But I don't know if they'll have it. They do a big hand. It's possible. It's very possible that they do. But we'll just have to see. Okay, they're just going to Lost Impact us. Now, that's pretty solid for us. They're only taking... What? They're only taking 1 prize. We could Iono them to 3 cards here. They're going to get rid of the water. They're going for the Star Requiem next turn. That's okay. So now... This is the dilemma. We're going to lead Bibarel in case we can't switch out the Palkia. And... we have EXP share. Do I go for the Irida and get the safe play, or do I Iono them to 3 cards? Iono to 3 is probably better, but then again, we're going to 3 cards. We will also have some draw still, so I think the Iono is the play. Like I said, we're trying to burn the resources. We get 2 energy, which isn't fantastic, but at least we can put something on Palkia, and we can Industrious Incisors for 3 cards. We get Switch, which is perfect. We get Boss, which is good as well. We have Palkia for a backup attacker. So we're going to switch, and we're going to go for a Justice Kick for 220. Now, like I said, they don't have the most insane amount of resources left. They've got 4 energy in the Lost Zone, 3 energy in the discard, and they're down a Super Rod. So with 4 cards in hand and no way on board to draw, they do have Colress though, because of course, I'm just curious what's going to happen here. Because no Boss on the Palkia is good. They can hit Palafin, knock it out, but then all they're going to need to do is Star Requiem / try and KO this Palkia on the bench here. And what we could do is, if we knock this out, they don't have any way to get more energies on the board. They're at enough in the Lost Zone to start Requiem now. That's okay. That's completely fine. But I'm just curious with their resources, how they're going to do this. They're going to attach to this Giratina. And now we have another Iono. We can Iono them to one card, which I think might be the play as we try and knock out this Giratina VSTAR. They're going to start Requiem. Okay, that's fine. Palafin gets knocked out. We've put enough damage on it to two-shot it. And now they need to find a Mirage Gate, basically. And that's okay. We can Iono them. They go to 2 prizes remaining. I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay. Because now all they need to do is find an energy and they would win. But if we take this knockout, which we absolutely will, we'll go for this Iono. We're going to Iono 3 cards to draw some more. I do want to get more Finizens in play. That EXP sure would have been good to have in play as well. We do have a Heavy Ball, and I do believe we have a Finizen prized. We don't. Oh, there's just 2 energies in there. That's okay. We'll go for Industrious Incisors. Please give you that Finizen. Get Cyclizar, which isn't too bad, but I really needed a Finizen there. So now we'll Subspace Swell, we'll take the knockout here, and they literally need to find, like, they need a lot more in order to win here, or else we just kind of take the dub next turn, because we can Escape Rope into anything else, and they'll get knocked out. So they're down 6 energy, 6 plus 4, they're down 10, they're down 11 energy. They have Super Rod. Do they have the Mirage Gate? If we literally Ionoed them into Mirage Gate and Super Rod, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be so upset, you have no idea if we did that. Doing the Rod makes sense first, obviously. There's a Comfey. They're gonna Roxanne us, okay. Do they find the Mirage Gate? Oh, man. Iono is such a lie. Iono is such a lie. Oh, that feels so bad. It's so bad. That feels so terrible that they got the dub, like, in that specific way. We were very close, though. We basically had that game unlocked. It was very close, so I can't complain about that. I think both players played pretty well. Yeah, that's just funny. That's just so unfortunate for us. Our opponent is calling the coin flip. Tails never fails. That's what I always say. And we're going to get to see what exactly happens here. It's going to be heads, so they're going to get to choose whether to go first or second. But not bad either all. I mean, they're going to go first, so going second, we're okay because we have Irida access, so we can get set up a lot easier. I'm just curious to see what we have here. See, with this hand going first, I probably would have conceded because there's nothing you can do. But with Irida, we can grab VIP plus another Pokemon, and we can drop Radiant Greninja. We have a lot going for us. We are going to be playing against a Miraidon deck. That's what it seems. Could be a Lost Zone deck as well. This is where I think Palafin really shines because we just offset the prize trade, and because of how much damage output we have, we can just easily take KOs. So I'm gonna try and go for a Valiant Evolution. Finizen here. We're just gonna see what we have in the deck. Cyclizar does have free retreat, which is good, so we can pivot it easily. But yeah, I'm just super interested, let's just say, to see what happens here. They're gonna bench a Raichu V, which is interesting. Electric Generator coming down, so they could potentially get attachments. They get 1, which is good for them. And now, that might be a pass. No more Rhydon coming down just yet. There's an Energy Search, which is actually, I really like Energy Search in Miraidon, just because you can very easily get, an energy off of Arven, for example. I really do like Energy Search in Miraidon. They're going to attach to Raikou, probably retreat it and go for a fast charge, so they can get even more energies accelerated. Here comes an Ultra Ball, though, which I'm curious why they didn't play that first to grab their Miraidon. But yeah, we're just going to see. They're getting rid of 2 judges. That's interesting. There's their Miraidon. I'll probably say I would have played this hand a little bit differently, but we don't know what they have in the rest of their hand, which is the key, right? So we just have to wait for them to do their Miraidon shenanigans. Another good thing is if they're playing Flaffy, which I'm guessing they are because they're playing Raichu, that we can just go Raikou, Raichu, double Flaffy. Or they're playing Regieleki, so we can also get a Flaffy and a Regieleki V done. Like, we can also hit hard with Radiant Greninja on the Regieleki V Max and the Flaffy to put us in 2-hit KO range. So that's one of the important things. Here comes the fast charge, so they're going to be taking a knockout next turn. they gotta have a research in their hand. Absolutely they do. So we're gonna see what we can do here. I'm gonna go for this Irida, get the Ultra Ball. So I want to grab definitely a VIP. We have 2 Palafins, which is good. So we're gonna grab VIP. We're gonna grab Greninja. I want to check, make sure we have Bidoof and Bibarel. We do have both plus Cyclizar. That's good. So we'll go for Radiant Greninja here. We'll battle VIP, and we will grab Finizen, and I do want to grab Bidoof. So I'll energy search here, and attached to this Finizen, I'm gonna Ultra Ball away these 2 for now. Grab another Finizen. Yeah. I want 2 concealed cards and just get a little bit more of a state. Okay, double VIP. That completely changes how this is gonna play out. We have 1 more bench spot. I'm gonna whiff this VIP because we don't need it, and then I'm gonna use this VIP and just grab another Cyclizar probably. Man, if I knew we were gonna draw double VIP, would have played this hand differently for sure. Here's the Valiant evolution now, so we're gonna get a Palafin in play immediately. Switch into a Cyclizar. We have a double pivot. I'll put this Palafin in play, and now we're basically just counting on drawing, which is not how I expected this to go. I really thought our concealed cards would get us something a little more substantial, but that's okay. I don't see them having a boss KO on this Palafin here. It gives us a little bit more wiggle room. They're gonna tandem unit once more, grabbing maybe another Mareep. If they grab another Mareep, which is good for us, we could put Palkia V in play after they take a knockout this turn. There's the research. That's good. They get rid of an Ultra Ball. Okay. Now I'm intrigued. Now I'm intrigued how we play out the rest of this game. There comes a Flaffy. They didn't discard any. Oh, they discarded 1 energy. Okay, so they're gonna be able to get some things into play here. There's an EXP share, I should say. Doing my thinking face here. Another energy search. 2 is something different for sure. Grab another energy. And this Flaffy can start powering things up. We need to take a knockout this turn in order to keep things moving and grooving with Palafin. We could also go for a Jet Punch, but I would like really rather not do the Jet Punch. It would make things a lot harder for us, I think. And yeah, we're gonna go into Raikou and take a knockout. That's fine because we don't even need our Vitality Band to knock these guys out. So that's really good for us. No boss coming down. We really need to top deck a Water Energy, or if we can get Irida, we can get Ultra Ball. Ooh, they have the Charm, which isn't bad because we can hit into it and then vacuum it away after and surprise them by taking the KO. So that's possible as well. We're going to Cyclizar and see what we draw. We draw Ultra Ball with no way to discard. I should have kept those VIP passes instead of being foolish with them, or else we would have been in an insanely good spot. But now I'm gonna retreat into Finizen and pass. I am kicking myself over that. That is one of the most terrible gameplay decisions I've ever made. Not good. That's okay. You know, we're all about having fun here on the Hitmonchan channel. There's a Forest Seal Stone. If they get boss, it's 100% over off that Forest Seal. It's 100% over if they do that. Yeah. Well, it might not be 100% over, maybe like 99% over. Yeah. Oh man, we could have had this game in the bag so easily. I fumbled it so hard. There's the Regieleki V. If they grab boss, I'm gonna be very sad. But it might not be all bad. As long, I'm gonna 100% do this, but as long as we don't top deck our 4th Palafin, should be fine. Are we gonna Lost City? And judge us? Okay, that's fine with me actually. We can use Vacuum to get rid of that. We are gonna be a little tight though. We don't have any counter stadiums in the deck, so we have to be very careful with how we do things here. I'd rather get a surprise KO on the Raikou than get rid of the Lost City. We'll see. I think because they play Lost City, we do have to bench our Palkia now, though. But like I said, take a peek and we'll see what happens here. We do have Ultra Ball. We can get rid of Manaphy and something else. Whatever we draw into, should be okay. We draw into the Lost Vacuum. good. I do think I want to get rid of the charm and just get the prize here. The prizes are more important than this. We can try and just outpace them now. And now we'll go for the Iono. Put them down to 4 cards. Should be in a decent spot. We do need to find another Finizen. We do find Bibarel. We do find Palkia V, which is good. I don't want to use the Switch. I want to use Industrious Incisors here. We've got Escape Rope. So, okay. This is salvageable. It's salvageable. We go into Palafin, and we just escape for 210. They opt to knock out Palkia. We can knock out Raichu because we have Boss. I'm guessing they're going to try and go for the Palkia. And then in that case, it gives us time to get another Palafin set up. And then we just go Palafin, and win. So we should be okay. Again, Palkia VSTAR will be able to help us out here. Or we can also just knock out Raichu and then go for Greninja, potentially. So we can get off these prizes. Finizen and Irida, both very good. So next turn, I'm expecting to be able to go for a Palkia play and just get Greninja like powered up and ready, attached to something else. Bob is your uncle. We're gonna be okay there. There's Raichu coming up at the front. It needs to discard 3 energy in order to knock us out. However, they do have Mareep and Flaffy, or they have 2 Flaffies basically. They have another Raikou. Okay, so that's okay. That is okay. They're gonna attach to that Raikou. It all depends on what they want their line to be. They're using a research to get rid of their hand and draw 7. So no Boss, which is good. They can knock out Palafin and Lost Zone all they want here. Not gonna do too much. I'm kind of like baiting the Raichu in a way, because then I want to knock out both their Mareeps, and then we basically checkmate them in a sense, because we have Boss, and they're gonna Dino Motor here. They have 1 energy that they can move. See, now I'm expecting the Raikou here. Obviously, I'm expecting the Raikou. But that's going to require them to either have a switch card or full retreat. So maybe the Raichu... Oh, they only need to discard 2 energy, my bad, because we have weakness. So if they discard 2 energy off of the Raikou, for example, and we can knock out... Like, let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. That'll influence how we play the rest of the game. That'll influence it for sure. So where are you discarding from? From the bench. Okay. Discarding from the bench is fine. Yeah, we're going to go for a Palkia play here. Take 2 prizes. Then we just need to knock out Raichu or Raikou to win. So here's what I want to do. I just hope Palkia VSTAR is not prized, but I didn't think it was. So we grab Palkia VSTAR. And we probably want to grab another Nest Ball or a Rod, I'm guessing. But nothing's in the discard. So we just want to grab Nest Ball. We have 1 Palafin in the discard. Yeah, that's good. That's solid. That's fine. We do this. Bench you. We bench another Finizen. And we want to... We want a Star Portal for sure. Obviously, we want to do the Star Portal. Get 1, 2, and 3 going. We do want to attach as well. But do I want to use any of these? I think Escape Rope is more important to use later down the line. So I don't want to conceal the cards. I'd rather attach 2 Finizen. And we'll go for... But should we go for a switch and just try and draw? Maybe we do. Maybe we just go for a switch and get that extra card off of Bibarel. If it's an energy, we can conceal the cards it. We get Ultra Ball. So Ultra Ball is good to have for next turn too. So I'm fine to Moonlight Shuriken here. And get rid of Flaffy and Mareep. Say see you later to both of them. Put them in the Lost Zone. Don't think we would ever recover them back. And now all we really need to do, we have energy, which is good. We just need to find a Raihan. But we have Boss. We should be fine. We do have Raihan now. So we basically have this game on lock. All we need to do is force up a knockoutable Pokemon. Given our current hand, obviously, is they can boss up Palkia and take it out. We literally just go into Cyclizar, retreat, Palafin attach, we win. They can go to Raikou, same thing, we just win the game. There's a Radiant Greninja from them. They're going to try and draw more cards here. Electric Generator. If they go into Regieleki VMAX, things become a little more tricky, but we should be fine because we literally just have Boss. If we didn't have boss, we would try and go for an Escape Rope plus Vitality Band play. We have a lot of options now, given the way we mapped our prizes, so I think we're actually doing okay. We left Greninja in the active, giving us time to set up a Palafin on the bench. So if they boss the Finizen, we have Raihan. If they judge us and take out Greninja, it's just a luck of the draw. But we have Bibarel. If they boss Bibarel, we have game in hand. If they boss Palkia, we have game in hand. If they boss Cyclizar, we have game in hand. We're basically good. The only thing is if they were to boss and judge, which isn't possible. So we should have this game on lock. And yeah. Just curious kind of how they're going to do this. They're going to boss. What are they going to boss? If it's Palkia, we just win. Okay, yeah, so it's Palkia. We are taking the dub here for sure. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. There's no the hand disruption. We just got the game in hand, which is good. And yeah. There's that dynamic spark. They got to discard 3 energy to knock out Palkia. And after that, we literally just go switch Palafin punch, I guess. That's probably his like superhero catchphrase or something, right? We just go into the Palafin and then we do Palafin things and we take a Palafin dub. Just waiting for them to discard their cards so we can officially win the game here. And yeah, you know, I do like this deck. I do think the Palkia brings a lot of utility that the deck needs. Discarding 1, 2, and 3 energies to take that knockout here. Even Lost City couldn't stop us because of that Palkia. Gives us more versatility. And now all we need to do is they take prizes, but that's all right. That is a-okay because all we need to do is evolve into this Palafin. Attach an energy. Retreats into this Palafin and Justice Kick. Palafin power. Take a knockout on that Raichu V, and we get to take the final 2 prizes of the game after he moves his energy, or they move their energy from the EXP share. Might take some time, because I don't know, it's not automatic. I don't know why PTCG Live is coded this way, where it's not an automatic, like, interaction at the end of the game if you're gonna take your 2 prizes. So yeah, they just move it. Lost City. We take our 2 prizes. And we take the dub against Miraidon EX. Not much to complain about there. The deck worked exactly as intended. We get to call a coin flip here, which is great. Haven't got one of those today. And I'm going to say Tails never fails. And as always, or as sometimes, Tails did not fail me. So we're absolutely going to go first. All we really want here is a Finizen and maybe 2 or like 1 or 2 other basic Pokemon. We'll be okay. Solid. Absolutely solid setup. However, this is all contingent on Radiant Greninja not being prized. Because if Radiant Greninja's prized, we might have a tough time. However, we're going to see. We actually have a really, really good starting hand. Just our next turn is going to be very dependent on draw. And what our opponent does. Because they might judge us, they might Iono us, they might do whatever. So we're going to see what we're up against with the Paldean Wooper sleeves. Love that little guy. And it's a Lost Zone engine, so it could be something different. We got a lot of basic search to go through. So we're absolutely going to grab Greninja. No Palkia, which means no Palkia just yet. But we're going to do that. We're going to grab Bidoof as well. We can Nest Ball here. We want to thin as much as we can. Not going to grab Manaphy right now. I just want to grab this Finizen. We're going to try and get as much going as we can. We'll just say it like that. We're going to try and do that. We'll attach there, and we'll conceal cards so we can draw some more next turn. Another EXP share is actually really good. I do want to save it though, so we're going to pass. I want to save the EXP share just because of the fact that if we get Ultra Ball, I'm learning from my mistakes. If we get Ultra Ball, I'd much rather Ultra Ball and get Bibarel. Like 10,000,000% I would much rather do that than save that EXP share. So we'll see. Also, a lot of things depend here. There's a lot of things that depend. They're going to go for a Chorus here, so I'm curious what they're going to be playing. If they're going to be playing Giratina, if they're going to be playing straight Lost Box. I see a Roxanne, that tips me off to Giratina. There is the Giratina. So they got 2 in the Lost Zone, they're going to Flower Select, that's 3 in the Lost Zone. They only need a Comfy, a switching card, and another, and a Cremorant in order to or 2 switching cards, I should say, in order to get this going. Now, they do discard the water energies, which means we need to evolve our Palafins really quickly or get Manaphy down like ASAP. They're getting another Comfey and a Cramorant. If they switch it to Comfey and use flower selecting, then they just need another switch and they can take a knockout with Cramorant. Makes me think I should have retreated into Finizen. Basically, they have a Cramorant knockout here, which is why Jet Energy is so good, by the way. Play Jet Energy and Giratina, do yourself a favor. Now, we do need a lot more from the following turn in order to get an attack off, but we'll see. We'll see where the cards fall. I'm not the most concerned. I probably should have retreated into Finizen here because we don't have any other pivoters now, but that's okay. Maybe I lead with... I don't know what I want to do here, if I want to lead with this Finizen or if I want to... I'm going to Path Us. That hurts as well. We're entirely top deck dependent. That path is very, very untimely for us. I might go in this Finizen just a Valiant Evolution and guarantee something next turn. So I think that's the play. We do top deck Bibarel, so we're okay here. We're gonna attach to this Finizen. Now we'll Industrious Incisor, see what happens here. We get Cyclizar, which we can use. We get Ultra Ball. I don't want to get rid of a Rod, but I will if I have to, so we're just going to Valiant Evolution here. That's all I want to do. We'll go into this Greninja, Winter Greninja, grab a Palafin, check the deck once more. We do have 2 Palafins prized. We have an Irida prized. We got an Escape Rope prize. We got an Ultra Ball prize. And I think that's it. I do think we have all of our waters. So that's good. That's solid. Don't want them to take a knockout here, obviously. If they do, that would suck. However, we're going to try and get that Giratina. They do have a big hand, and we don't have a supporter in hand, so it could be tough, but we'll see. There's a Giratina VSTAR, so never mind. Not getting knocked out. I'm just very curious to see what exactly is going to happen. They might just attack us here. Again, they don't want to burn their resources too much. I don't think it's wise to do that, I'll just say. I don't think it's wise to burn your resources like that. They're going to Escape Rope us, which is kind of what one of my fears was, and could just go into Bibarel here, because I don't want Cyclizar to get knocked out again, and then we're struggling for another free pivot. Then again, we have Radiant Greninja that can pivot us, so that might be okay if we went into Cyclizar. But again, I don't want to give them a knockout. Bibarel's not going to get knocked out unless it gets Sableye or Giratina. They have a Colress here. They got the absolutely most insane draws to put them at 7 in the loss zone after this Colress. So they could attack with Giratina. At this point, though, there's no reason to. Yeah, they're getting rid of a Mirage Gate and a Path. Not great. I'm just curious what happens here. If they end up getting a Greninja play, they are down 1 water. So they would need to get a Mirage Gate plus attach from hand to secure their knockout with a Greninja. So this is going to be tough, I won't lie. Ultra Ball is going to let us play down our hand quite a bit. We can get another Palafin, we can be good. Here's Mirage Gate. I'm hoping they don't have everything they need for Greninja. That would really, really hurt if they did. I don't know if we'd be able to come back from that if they go for a Greninja play. We'll see. We will see. Maybe they're just going to go for attach on the Comfey. Okay. If they go for another Cram here, that's okay. I'm actually not too mad about that, because then we can put ourselves in a position. Oh, they have another Mirage Gate. So they could have gone for Greninja. They were just like, nah, it's not worth it. Okay. They're going for Giratina here, it looks like. Taking out the Bibarel, which is rough, but not the worst thing in the world. We actually can rob the full Bibarel line back, use Ultra Ball to get it. Oh, they're not going to. They're going to Cram. Okay, that's fine. No knockout is still good for me because we can get the full use out of Bibarel. Now, it does mean, though, I don't want to Super Rod the entire, or Ultra Ball the entire Super Rods I have away. Again, we just have to see. Them preparing Greninja, or preparing Giratina, they're like really preparing Giratina, is a little concerning, but if we can get them to burn their energy on single prize Pokemon, that's okay. We do get Iono off the top. And now, I don't want to use these Super Rods to discard anything. Like, I don't want to Ultra Ball. I think I'd rather Iono right now. Like, I'll be fine if we get a Switch, Rope, whatever. We get Rope, that's good. We have Palafin that we can get prepared here. So we'll evolve this guy. Heavy Ball, and yeah, that's about right for what I expected in the prizing. Now we can Escape Rope, and they're going to give us something that we can hit with Palafin. Either of them is good because we knock out any of the single prize Pokemon, and we do a good ping on Giratina to knock them out next turn with Palafin. So I'm not mad at all about that. Bibarel Living is also really good. Yeah, we're just gonna see what exactly we can do here. I'm thinking they're gonna put a Comfy up, because then they can try and just Cramorant, or they can Giratina KO with Giratina, but they won't be able to Requiem. So if they can't Requiem first, that can be an issue. So yeah, they're gonna go up with Comfy. We're going up with our Palafin, and we can also draw 2 cards. Iono and Irida, all good. So we can go for Justice Kick here and take that knockout. We get a prize. If it's Palkia VSTAR, I do want to get Palkia VSTAR down. If possible, I want to. Do get Irida. Irida is also good. Even if we get Iono, it just gets thrown in the deck. So that's okay. And now this is going to be interesting here, what they decide to put up. If they decide to bring up Giratina and Lost Impact us, we could be in a decent spot, which it looks like that's what it's going to be, unless they have another Polaris plus like a Lost Vacuum or something. Them going into Giratina is, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, because we can't one-hit KO it, but we'll see. I'm just curious, right? Giratina V coming down the bench is good for us as well, because if we can somehow find ourselves a, if we can find ourselves the Vitality Band, I don't think we discarded it. Yeah, they're gonna Lost Impact. If we find that Vitality Band, we can actually take 2 prizes here, which would be insane. That would put us in a very, very advantageous spot. And now I'm curious what is gonna happen. So we just use the EXP shares and get these guys powered up. Well, that's why EXP shares are so powerful in this deck when you don't have Irida or Palkia VSTAR access. And now I do want to try and get Palkia V down here. I'm just curious. Can we just top like the Vitality Band? No, we can't. That's fine. Oh, we do have Raihan though, but we don't have Boss. Like, we can't do both. So what do? I think Irida's still the play. I think we still go for an Irida play here. And we grab, oh, we could Rope. Rope could be good as well. We could Rope, grab the other Palafin, and attach to like Greninja. That could be solid, actually. Yeah, that could be really solid if we just Rope. Or we can Boss KO, or we can't Boss KO, we just played Irida. But I'd like to, yeah, let's try and go for the Rope play here. I obviously, I don't want to get this what's it called, this Finizen knocked out here. So, or do we just smack the Giratina? Maybe I just smack the Giratina, honestly. Because then I can take it out with Greninja next turn. Yeah, we'll smack the Giratina here. Yeah, that's okay. Because now we can knock it out next turn with Radiant Greninja, because we can Raihan and attach to it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energies accounted for. Palafin will also be powered up. There's no Roxanne coming here, so that's good. They have to knock out this Palafin here. We can't knock out that Giratina in one go, but that's okay. We can basically just take 3 prizes this turn and then take another 2 prizer. We could also Radiant Greninja and take out 2 Comfies here. So we have options. They're gonna Rope us, and now that does change things. If they Rope, switch, whatever, if they, like, I don't want to give them Cyclizar. I also don't want to give them Bibarel in case they Iono us. I think giving them Greninja is the right call, because we can Super Rod it back after, and we have 2 Palafins to pivot between. That might be the right go. They can't Sableye this turn yet either. That's not the worst idea. So, because if they go for the knockout on Radiant Greninja, then that's okay. Like, that's fine if they go for the knockout on the Radiant Greninja, because I don't mind them giving us access to Raihan again. They also did have to Lost on a Boss. Now they're in Star Requiem territory, but they're just gonna pass. Now do get another Raihan. Now things are a bit more interesting. I can Irida. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, we're gonna rope first. See what they bring up, because they can bring up obviously anything. They can bring up a one of their Tinas. If they bring up their non-damaged Tina, okay, they bring up Greninja. That's actually decent for us. So we're gonna bring up Cyclizar just to give us ourselves a pivot, so we have more time to think. I could retreat, take out Giratina. Like, I could do that. And that's probably the right play. Like, realistically speaking, that is the correct play, is just get rid of their main attacker on the board. Right? And then I can just go for a Radiant Greninja, 2 Comfeys, and then take another prize card to win. That does put us in Roxanne territory, though, if they're playing double Roxanne, because I do think they lost Zone 1. So they might be playing a double Roxanne list, which could be bad for us. Now they can start Requiem us, which is fine. Here, because we do get this energy going here, and now all we need to do to take 3 prizes, we just do our best to Raihan and take 1 and put damage here, and that essentially gives us checkmate as long as we get another Finizen down. We have 1 in the discard, 2 in play. They're gonna concede, yeah. In that specific scenario, there's not much they can do at that point. I think we kind of have them checkmated because they got rid of their Roxanne, which is very good for us. We take the dub against Giratina VSTAR. So what did you think of my Palafin from Obsidian Flames deck list? This deck is a ton of fun to play. I think it's actually really, really good. You can outplay a lot of players with it. It has a lot of flexibility, which is what I love in the deck. It's very consistent, which is the other thing I look for in a deck, and it can hit hard, it can hit fast, it can spread damage. This deck genuinely has everything. If I were to change anything from the list, I don't know. You could try this with cross switchers. I don't think it's as good. I'm going to be very honest about that. I have played a bunch of games with cross switchers and without cross switchers. I genuinely think that no cross switchers is better because you have a lot more flexibility in the early game. But I do think the list is super solid. I wouldn't change a single card, to be honest with you. You might want to put in a stadium to counter like Lost Cities if you can't find your vacuum or if you've already used it, for example. But I do think the list is very solid. I think the list is very, very strong, has a lot of potential going forward because you can play this list with only single prizers. You can use a 2-prizer to support. You can use it to attack if you really need to offset your opponent's prize trade if they're not managing their resources correctly and they can't knock out the 2-prizer. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to play this list. I think it's really, really good, and I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed. Comment down below, what do you think of this deck? What do you think of Palafin? What do you like? What do you dislike? What would you keep? And what would you change about it? And subscribe to the channel because I'm posting multiple Pokemon trading card game videos every single week here in the Hitmonchanting channel. Once again, thank you to the sponsor PTCGL Store for sponsoring the channel, and with all that said and done, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Hitmonchanting out.